Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Amy Gullotta.
You're listening to The Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hey, Amy.
Hey,
How's it going?
pretty good. How about you?
We're good.
We're doing good. So what exactly do you do?
Well, I'm a real estate agent in Edwardsburg, Michigan with Weichert Realtors Gold Star. Been doing that for 5 years, a little bit over. Prior to that, I was a banker for 10 years. So I just got to be in this little 400 square foot office. So the freedom real estate gave me, I'm never looking back.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's been a ride though, for sure.
That's awesome. So when you were really little, did you know you were going to be an agent when you grew up, or what was your whole plan?
No, it's funny that you say that though. Looking back, because people ask me all the time, how'd you get into it or what your why is, and that kind of changes as you go. But
Yeah.
I recall volunteering, going to the grocery store so that I could grab the little books that they used to have all the listings in.
Yeah.
And like everybody else is watching TV and I'm sitting here thumbing through them. And I don't know if I just was in dreamland or whatever. At the time, I didn't associate it with being an agent until I was one. And then I'm like, I've kind of always been obsessed with this now that I think about it. So, but yeah, I've always loved it. Always loved design, which is the biggest part of the reason I got into the real estate business. I kind of wanted to open a staging company, and I thought I probably should learn a little bit about real estate first. But I kind of love the sales, so I'm stuck in that realm of it, which that's fine too.
Yeah.
So
Do you help your clients stage their homes?
Yeah, some of them I do. It's mostly buyers that need it though recently, just because sellers kind of know what they have and they don't want to change a whole lot. And some of them are open to it, just depends on your clients. But where I find that I'm most helpful is when they buy a new one and I'm like, oh my gosh, look, you can do this over here and that over here, and kind of sell it to them in that way, and it helps. But
Nice.
yeah.
That's awesome. I like it. So what how did you actually get into real estate? Did you just join a team, or did you how did that whole start out at the beginning?
So I was, it was when I was working in banking, and I just seen a lot of different industries. A lot of you get to really know the world when you live in, when you get the behind the scenes version in banking. You get to see a lot. But it just always intrigued me, and I'd always see realtors coming in the middle of the day, and I'm looking around and I'm nailed to this chair all day. And I just thought I would just ask questions. So everyone that would come in, I would ask. I ended up signing up with a broker who had been in it for a long time, kind of an older school agent. And it was a little bit slow moving at first. And I have a lot of energy and a lot of gusto right in the beginning. So I'm like, this doesn't work for me. I had to find somebody who knew, that didn't need to hold my hand. I just wanted to go, but I needed to know what I could get away with, kind of thing. So it worked out really well. And I've been with Weichert ever since, and I enjoy it. And just, it was an easy transition from the banking world to real estate, because my knowledge of the loan products really helped bring a lot of people. Plus I had a huge book of business that kind of came with me. So it worked out.
Nice.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. Did you notice a big transition, during that transition time? Did you notice structuring your day was helpful? Because you went from a full-time, what was it, 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job?
Yes.
It's free. Yeah. How did that work out for you, the structure of that?
It doesn't. It still is an ongoing process. So, it's an industry, I'll say just straight up honest, it's easy to get lazy with it. And the working from home dynamic was definitely a lot of getting used to, and it still is a little bit.
Yeah.
Because just in general, a lot of us struggle with time management because you have to be so reactionary. So even if I had the best intentions in the world, it doesn't ever always come to fruition, just because you're just so demanded all the time. But I kind of operate better that way anyway. So
that works
it
out
works.
then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you first got started in real estate, did you get any advice that has stuck with you throughout the years?
Only one, and it was because I tend to wear the emotions of everybody on me, and the chaos and and I feel like I have to be the one to solve the problem. So my current broker now, he said to me, calm down, and you just have to think, who's the one that needs to be scrambling right now? And most of the time it was not me, but it was always me. And so that I have to tell myself that to this day sometimes and think, okay, just it's not you. You just relay the message and then go from there. So it's still a lot of learning. I've been in it almost 6 years, and it's still daily learning.
Yeah. Over the past 5 years, has there been any transaction or home that you've been to that has kind of stuck out?
Oh gosh. I feel like I've seen it all. I walked through squatter properties, trees growing through properties, sellers being home. I lost a cat, I thought, and it turned out they didn't own a cat. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, tell us about that
Yeah,
one.
tell us about the cat
cat
story.
Well, there was a lot of times they'll put notes in the system saying, hey, there's a cat, don't let it out, or whatnot. But when you show farm properties and stuff, it's not weird for a cat to come approach, and usually it's like a barn cat or something. But they had left the door unlocked for us, so I had no idea. So I thought, this orange cat pops up, and I'm like, is this that did? And I'm reviewing my notes, and the buyers are like, I don't know. And I'm sitting here reviewing my notes. There's nothing. So I ended up pacing the property with the cat, following it around until I could get a hold of the listing agent or somebody who knew if these owners had a cat. So it took a lot. It took like an hour and a half to find somebody after the fact.
And it turns out they didn't even have a cat.
No, they didn't have a cat.
Nope.
It wasn't theirs. So I spent that time for no reason. But I mean, what are you gonna do? Let the strange cat in the house and leave? I don't know. I've had, let's see, I dropped a key down a deck inside of the deck before. Still to this day fumble with the locks every single day, and they look like so silly, but I can't do it. I don't know.
Always something, right?
But that, it sounds kind of like dumb stuff, but those are just little things, and when it comes to like the big deal stuff, I obsess about that stuff, the contracts, making sure everybody's okay and that kind of thing. That's where I don't leave room for error. I can laugh at myself at the other stuff, but you have to get serious too. So yeah.
I like
nice.
it.
So going forward in the next year, where do you see yourself? Do you have any goals that you want to accomplish?
You kind of opened a can of worms, because I'm just into everything.
Okay.
And when I got into real estate, I kind of fell down the rabbit hole of marketing, and digital marketing, specifically social media. I had a huge interest in podcasts, and I really want to bring together the real estate and the digital marketing. And I've actually kind of hit the ground running when it comes to trying to offer that to realtors, because I reached out to several digital marketing companies who told me that it doesn't have a place for real estate. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? I want to do video. How do I do video? I don't know how to get to do it. I can do TikTok. That's not really the place. I thought, digital marketer told me that. I'm hearing everything opposite when I'm following anybody on YouTube. I follow a lot of the big guys, and there's just no question that this is what I need to be bringing the business to. And there's a lot of people in my industry who are like that, who don't believe that this is the direction things need to go. And I do. So I'm okay looking like a fumbling idiot until I figure it out.
Yeah, because you'll be ahead of everybody else, so it works out good.
That's true. I mean, and I tend to, you're firstborn, so I kind of tend to, dig the trenches for people and then report afterwards. But I see it going there. I thought about getting dual licensed as well. That's kind of a big process as well. But as in our role, we just kind of have a lot of hats. So you can take your business to any direction really that you wanted to. Real estate as a whole is kind of crazy right now.
Yeah,
for sure. Is there, if you had to start over, would you do the same exact thing you did, or would you change? If you had to start over today, how would you do that? Would you do the same?
I guess it depended on which point I started over at. And would I do real estate again? Yes, I should have done it 10 years sooner. But I think just because you think you want to do it doesn't mean you're necessarily ready for it. So I think my transition of experience went really well into real estate, and that's why I'm able to do as well as I am. And I want to lead a team of people to do the same thing and kind of change the industry as a whole. I mean, I have big lofty goals, so to ask me where I'm going is kind of crazy, but
Yeah.
I can take you anywhere. But that's the immediate future, I guess, is trying to just build a team of people with me to kind of do it a little bit differently than we've been doing it. So
Yeah. Do you have anyone
we'll
like,
see.
do you have anyone on your team right now, like maybe an admin or anything?
No, I'm actually searching for an admin. I have someone in mind, a banker, so
There
I
you
think
go.
it's a good transition. But yeah, it's just kind of, I'm used to being a one-man team. I'm used to having my hands in everything. But it's getting to that point where I have to be comfortable delegating and figuring. But I already have made the system, so it's going to be easy. I just got to pull the trigger and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I know.
When you did like switch to doing this full time, did you switch over slowly or did you just go straight into doing it full time? Like when you were doing the banking?
I did a year where I was part-time, where I was at the bank, which I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. I'm going to get the best referrals. This is going to be awesome. It was more of a conflict of interest field than it was anything else. But then I had a business client that I was really close with, and they said, if you want to start doing real estate, we'll create a job for you. So they literally created an office position for me to sit there 40 hours, basically gave me no work to do. So I worked my business, and it was within a year that I was doing it full time, and I had to tell them I couldn't be nailed to the desk anymore.
Yeah.
And they still are very supportive. They hired me to sell their house when the time came. Yeah. I'm
That's
very
awesome.
schmoozy with the people. So I just adore helping people. So every time someone calls, I talk too much.
Yeah.
That's a good thing though, because you want them to feel comfortable with you.
Yes. And that's a big thing to me, building rapport. And I'm patient. So a lot of people are just trying to get people to make decisions right then and there. I've got people I've worked with this entire 5 years that are just now starting to do stuff. So, but it's just like anything, you gotta kind of just keep planting your seeds every now and then.
Yep.
I always kind of attribute it to gardening, because you can take a day off or two of weeding your garden, but if you go a whole week without it, it's gonna catch up to you, and you're gonna be scrambling. So, and you always have to have your hands in every position, harvesting, seed planting, all that. So very similar, if you can
Yeah.
think
I've
of it
never
that
heard
way.
anyone compare it to gardening, but that is very true. I like how you just did that.
I'm full of metaphors.
If there was one piece of advice you could give to anyone starting out in real estate, what would it be?
I would say just strongly think of your reason why, because I think a lot of people get into real estate for the wrong reasons, and you see a lot of people later in life thinking it's a good career change, but you definitely have to have a certain kind of entrepreneurial mindset to be in real estate, or at least to be successful, and even more so going forward when you're battling against like the Zillows and Redfins and that. I just see it. There's going to be an even bigger gap between the tech giants and the kind of old school agents, and a lot of them are going to fall off, kind of thing. So if they're looking to get into real estate, follow tech, do anything you can in that. And I always say follow the money. I don't care what business you're in. I think you should always follow what the money people are doing, because that'll help you too. And understanding people. So you don't have to be a good salesman. You don't have to be super confident, but if you can understand people, that helps you with all the anxiety and the confidence. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah, no, I like that. Do you read business books at all?
Do I what?
Do you read business books at all? I know you mentioned that follow the money, follow the
Yes.
higher up. So if you do you
Yeah.
have any books that you could recommend?
I have a list. Recently, the ones I've enjoyed most are Atomic Habits. And I'm sorry, you'll have to tell me or look up who the authors are. I never remember because I do everything audio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Atomic Habits, .com Secrets. I've been following Russell Brunson. Let's see. The other one is called Big Pocket Full of Money, and it's not about that at all. The first few chapters all about quantum physics and kind of like how the world works, and then it takes you into human behavior and how it all kind of intertwines together. And it's really good in business to know that, because you just, if you're not able to get that big picture idea, you just I say you fail as a business person, because there's just so many things you have to know. And I'm learning that as I go. I thought I was just going to sell houses, and it was not the case at all.
I don't think you're alone with that. I think a lot of people who initially get into real estate, they think it's just straightforward selling homes. It's going to be super easy. It's not.
Right. It's not. And there's even more. I thought, yes, when I got out of banking, I was out of all that like liability, legal. This is even worse. I don't know why, but you have to know. You tend to avoid that kind of stuff, and I don't want to work that job because I don't want to be liable. But the more you get into it and the more you know it, the more you're able to help other people. So your business becomes more successful. You're happier in life, all that stuff. So you always got to do the stuff you don't want to do. Always.
Yep.
I've always speeches always come like into life lessons instead of real estate. So I'm sorry for that.
It's all good. Awesome. How can people get a hold of you?
Well, I have lots of ways. The fastest way is texting. I'm just fastest at that. And I can give you my card, my number. I don't know how you want me to do that, but and then I'm online. I'm on Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on all of it. Twitter. I got rid of Snapchat. I don't like that, but all of the other platforms, LinkedIn, I'm on all of them.
Sweet. How can they find you on there?
So amyforhomes.com is my website. Super easy, AMYFOR, and all the links on there for everything to find me.
That works for us. That's awesome.
Nice.
Perfect. Let's see here. Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Yes, I really appreciate it. Sorry if I went on a tangent, but I love this. So I'm an open book. Ask me anything.
It's awesome. You did good.
Are these working?
All right.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. I think they're working. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe? What do we got to point at? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. Like
It might be there.
It might be right there too.
Somewhere.
Find
it. It's red.
Yeah. And it's blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah, I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review if they're listening on Apple. That'd be cool.
5 stars, guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take 4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
I don't think this is working.
This is not working.
Yeah.